Of course, we're going to have all of your news and your weather headlines throughout the course of the next 2 hours. But we do want to start with a couple of things that are all are all park related. This park has been years and years in the making. It was early in 2017 when the Detroit Riverfront Conservancy started the process of transforming this area that you're looking at live right now. It's part of the Conservancy's goal to revitalize 5.5 miles along the Detroit Riverfront. The park is on West Jefferson between 8th Street and Rosa Parks Boulevard, as you can see in this map here. It's named after Ralph C. Wilson Jr. He is a philanthropist who was dedicated to improving the quality of life in his hometown of Detroit. Now, this is the best way to show you the dramatic transformation I'm going to show you here. On the Detroit Riverfront website, you can see what the space looked like. Look at this. Long ago, before, and now producer Mary, swipe left. And there's the after shot. Incredible. And that's actually not everything that has happened here. It doesn't include the water garden. You can kind of see off there near the word after. We're going to take you to all of the attractions throughout this entire park throughout the show. There are 4 major ones to see. The first, it's my dream, a kid's dream. The Delta Dental Play Garden. It's 5 acres featuring those slides that are shaped like animals. I went down one earlier this morning. I didn't land properly. You'll see it later. Then there is the Huron Metro Parks Water Garden. It is a 2.5 acre and the first ever Metro Park located within the city of Detroit. The DTE Foundation Summit, that's a big plot of grass that's perfect for a picnic featuring views of the river. They're really talking about that being a great spot to have events and hold other things here. And there's also the Ambassador and Gordie Howe bridges you can see off in the distance as well. The William Davidson Sporthouse is an open air pavilion with 2 regulation basketball courts with the Pistons logo right in the middle of them. So we're going to take you around this brand new park that is opening tomorrow to the public. And while this is brand new, guess who else is brand new? The newest member of the Local 4 team, Amaya Kuznicki, is joining us for the first live shot ever. Amaya, welcome to the Local 4 team. And what a great way to kick off your very first assignment.
Nick, that was what I was just going to say. I mean, what a fun assignment to join the team. And when you're standing in this park, it's absolutely breathtaking. I mean, you have the water, gorgeous views right here. And then you can't miss, like you said, these huge animals. I mean, they have slides. I think this is a bear, and just so many different things for everybody in the family, all ages. I know this is one of the largest play gardens in Michigan, which is really cool. And I know we're getting into the colder weather, but when it gets warmer and families are walking the river walk, this is a great place. There's shaded areas for everyone to cool off. But I know, Nick, you were going to hold me accountable if I didn't go down this slide, because you said you went down there. So we're going to take you guys up here. And like I said, there's just so many different things to do here. I think there's a couple ways up this slide too. But I mean, this architecture is just absolutely stunning. I don't think there's many places that have things like this. So I'm going to go climb up while you get some views around. It's really cool inside too. You guys are just going to have to check it out for yourselves. Trying to figure out how to get up here. There's a lot of twists and turns. But I'm slowly getting there, guys. Okay, finally made it to the top. And this is something for everyone in the family. I know it's catered towards kids. They have a lot of signage around here that tells you exactly what everything is for. Okay, I'm going down. Okay, we made it down. That was fun. I'm not gonna lie, it was a lot of twists and turns to get up there. There's a few different ways to get up, but I'm sure there's other slides here. You look over here. This one looks a little less difficult to get up because this is something that's for everybody. And then, you know, there is bathrooms right over here, and there's just a ton of stuff. And it's really, 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 really impressive to see what they've done here, and I'm excited to tour the rest of it. But back to you, Nick.
Amaya, what an incredible first live shot there. I was curious, and I was afraid for you because I was there a couple hours ago realizing that it is quite the feat to get up on top of that slide there. While I have you here for a moment, why don't you introduce yourself to all of Metro Detroit? Where are you from? What's your background? How happy are you to be here?
I am so happy to be here. I grew up in Dearborn, so not far away from the city. I did work in Lansing for 3 years, so I've stayed in Michigan. I'm a proud Spartan, so I haven't left Michigan for my career. And when I tell you I'm so excited to be back home and telling all of your guys' stories at home, I just can't wait to get started.
Well, welcome to the team, Amaya. Happy to see you here, and I know Jason and Rhonda will be thrilled to hear you're a Spartan as well. All right, joining me now here live at the other end of the park is Mark Pasco. He is with the Detroit Riverfront Conservancy. It's funny to see Amaya go down that slide because when you and I were out there earlier, I looked up inside the bear and said, nope, not that one. And then I walked over to the otter and I said, nope, that one's even more hard to get up. What's cool is that you can't see it from the outside camera view, but inside those slides, there's all these different kind of obstacles that the kids are going to climb around. It looks like a great time for them.
Yeah.
Maybe not us that are a little older.
Yeah, those of us who are a little bit older or of a certain height, it's a little bit more difficult to get in there. You got to climb, you got to shimmy, you got to do a little lambada. But yeah, once you get up there and you slide down, it's totally fun.
Yeah, all right, so the park officially opening to the public starting tomorrow. This has been a labor of love for you guys. Can you kind of walk us through the process of how we finally got here?
This park, Ralph Wilson Park, has evolved from West Riverfront Park, which opened in 2014.
Yep.
We started in 2017. We had a vision for a new park. We had an international design competition. We selected 4 firms to go to battle, and we selected Michael Van Valkenburg Associates out of New York, and they came up with a great concept. We worked with the community. We had 20, 30 community meetings with adults and kids and students, and asking them what they wanted to see in the park. And, you know, here we are, 7 years later, and we're celebrating the opening of the park. We're excited about it.
So we were looking live at the drone. That's the drone 4 hanging over the park right now. And there are distinct different areas all over, especially in the play garden, because it's kind of, I don't know if it's separated by age, but you do have the tot garden for the little ones over there.
Right. We have where the otter and the beaver and the bear is this little bit bigger kids, but then we have the Henry Ford tot lot for the littles.
It's not we can call anything a garden, I guess.
Yeah, everything is a smaller scale. We have smaller slides and smaller creatures to climb on.
And speaking of those creatures, you told me earlier that the creatures are actually designed by kids.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite stories of this park. All the creatures were manufactured from Monstrum in Denmark. But 2 of the creatures in the tot lot were inspired by some of the community engagement meetings we had with 3rd and 4th graders. The fox, and I call it a toucan because it has like a big kind of nose. Those 2 were directly inspired by the kids.
And those are
Detroit
not to cut
kids.
you off, but those are in the kind of brownish area that you're looking at on the right-hand side of the screen right now, correct?
Yep, that's the tot lot.
Okay, so you were saying that you had the meeting with the 3rd and 4th graders, and you basically gave them Play-Doh, right?
We gave them Play-Doh, we gave them markers, crayons, pieces of paper, turned them loose. If you're building a park, what would you like the park to look like? If you were building a structure to climb on and slide down, what would it look like? And they came up with the fox and the toucan, as I call it. Yeah.
Can you walk us through the history of the park, too? Because this has a lot of Detroit history, going from a rail yard to a printing press to a giant event space.
Yeah, way back when it was a rail yard, and we had roundabouts all through here, train tracks going every different direction. Then it became a free press printing facility for a long time, and then we bought it in 2007. We knocked that building down, and then in 2014 we opened up West Riverfront Park.
Yep.
And we wanted to open up green space for the community. We weren't quite sure what we wanted it to be when it grew up, so we made it green open space. We had a lot of great big events here because we had the space to do it, huge festivals, but we knew that we wanted to do something special. The planets kind of aligned as we got closer to 2017, and we had the design competition. We hired Michael Van Valkenburg, and here we are, celebrating the new park and Harvest Fest this weekend.
Right, all once. Okay, so tomorrow we've got a press conference, 10 o'clock in the morning.
10 o'clock.
The gates kind of open around 9:30 to get people in and settled and checking out the park. And then the rest of the day, it's just open, come play, come hang out?
Yeah, absolutely. Press conference, 10 o'clock. The public invited to come. Yeah, once the press conference is over, 11 o'clock, the park is open. Food trucks, music, trick-or-treating for the kids, something for everyone. Family-friendly fun, and free.
And free.
Free.
That is my favorite word. Okay, last question for you.
Yes.
What do you think it's going to take for me to get floor director Michelle to go down the slide?
I think if we all give her a little peer pressure, I think she'll go. I think she'll go.
No, she's a lot stronger than that. It's bribery with Egypt candy.
Right, okay.
All right, Mark, thank you so much. Appreciate your time. All right, we're going to take a short break here on Local 4 Live. When we come back, we're going to have your headlines, your news headlines, and all that. Local 4 Live from the brand new Ralph C. Wilson Centennial Park continues next. Welcome back, everybody, to Local 4 Live. Again, live here at the brand new Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Centennial Park on the west side of the Detroit riverfront. The park again opens to the public starting tomorrow morning, featuring 22 acres of fun for all the families. A live look now from our friends in Windsor, our Windsor Tower Cam, looking across the Detroit River, and you can see that mural also brand new and painted just for this park. Let's talk about the history and how all of this came to be in just a minute. We'll get that as we get a look again from our downtown sky cam across the river. All that history coming up in just a few moments. But first, your news and weather headlines. We're going to start over in Macomb County. A piece of history will live on for generations to come. But first, it's going to have to be relocated. Washington Township is moving the Thornton Schoolhouse to its new forever home. Take a look at this map here. Road and Mound. Get ready for a traffic mess later on this morning. It was built in the 1840s. The elementary school closed for good in 1955, and then somebody privately owned it for years. Shantae Passmore is here with why the community bought it back and why they say it had to be moved.
This will be no easy feat, but for Washington Township, it's worth doing all of this all in the name of preserving history. The township supervisor tells Local 4 the school needs to move for logistical reasons. The land it sits on is just too small. It's less than an eighth of an acre, not big enough to put a septic field or parking. So Thornton Schoolhouse is moving to a 5-acre park. The building will have heating and cooling so it can be used year-round. So what's the goal here? Well, Washington Township wants area elementary students to come and spend the day at the park and relive history. This morning, the whole community is buzzing.
Overall, the public's been very excited about this project. Since being supervisor, I get calls on it weekly. What are we doing to save the Thornton Schoolhouse? So I'm glad we can finally deliver on it. It's basically a labor of love. You really can't put a price on history, and this is the last schoolhouse we have here in Washington.
And the big move is slated for 9 o'clock this morning. There will be a small ceremony. People are encouraged to either attend in person or watch online through a live stream. I'm Shantae Passmore, Local 4.
All right, Shante, thank you very much. The clock is about to strike midnight for millions that rely on SNAP benefits. That assistance will halt starting in November due to the federal government shutdown. In Michigan, nearly 500,000 kids benefit from SNAP. More than half of the households that use SNAP have a person living with a disability. We spent time at Second Canon Outreach Ministry at their food bank in Detroit. Volunteers say if SNAP benefits stop, they expect their weekly crowds to grow even larger.
People are really struggling, you know, and then things is getting real tight, you know, people not working, out of work.
By the grace of God, I'll be okay. You know, that's just the way I feel. But, you know, it's a lot of people out here that's going to suffer. They're already suffering.
Now, the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services is encouraging SNAP participants to contact their local Health and Human Services office with any questions they might have. You can also call 211 for free confidential assistance and referrals to local food programs. Let's take a live look at the stock futures for Ford Motor Company. Right now, they are up about 45 cents after Ford beat Wall Street's expectations for the third quarter. Earnings, Ford made nearly $2.5 billion in profits last quarter, a big jump from the year before. The revenue also went up $50 billion. The company sold about 500,000 cars in the U.S., an 8% increase from last year. But a fire at an aluminum supplier hurt truck and SUV production, costing about $1 billion, leading Ford to lower its full-year profit forecast. Ford plans to offset half of that loss by making more trucks and hiring 1,000 workers. All right, we're going to take a short break here. Our coverage from the newest park along Detroit's riverfront continues next. Ashley is going to have a look at your weekend forecast. You're going to want to stick around if you're heading to that Michigan State game in East Lansing. A live look at the park as we head to break. Hey everybody, welcome back to Local 4 Live. Again, coming to you from the brand new Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Centennial Park here along the Detroit riverfront. It was years in the making and well worth the wait. You can take another live shot here. As we look around other areas of the park, there are so many different areas that have been set up for kids, both young and young at heart. This is going to open to the public starting at about 10 o'clock tomorrow morning with the press conference. Once that wraps up, they are open and ready to go. The kids can go down all of the 8 slides that I counted while we were out here this morning. And the good news is we're going to have great weather for that as well. Hey, Ash.
Now, forewarned weather with Exact Track 4D.
Well, we are going to have a very fall-like weekend, drier conditions to take in. Really the last weekend of fall activities when it comes to the pumpkin patch and things like that, because Halloween's a week from today. So partly cloudy skies through the lunch hour with increasing clouds this afternoon, 52 for the afternoon high. So it's another day where we're still trending a little bit below average. I can't rule out a stray shower chance, and I want to show you what I'm talking about here. So some rain from the northwest could sink down into portions of the thumb or along M59. 69 by about 3, 4 o'clock this afternoon. And I'm talking a very isolated light shower or sprinkle that continues to hold on until about 6, 7 o'clock this evening. Most of us dodge that, but I just have to at least mention it because our model data is picking up a little bit of moisture, so you could have that passing light shower if you have outdoor activities. Otherwise, tonight we're going to start to peel back those clouds once again, and temperatures will fall into the low 30s. So I do think that we see some patchy frost across town. But if you are heading out to the Rivalry game tomorrow, well, you can plan for about 50 degrees for tailgating out in East Lansing. But once we get to game time, with it being a night game, that 7:30 kickoff, it's going to be chilly. We'll be in the 40s throughout the game. In fact, probably mid to upper 40s at kickoff and low 40s by game's end. So figure out your favorite extra layers of whether it's maize and blue or green and white to wear to the game. We are officially a week away from Halloween, and we're getting new data in when it comes to that forecast. And so I want to bring it to you with our 7-day countdown here. So that 7-day temperature trend will remain in the mid-50s all the way into Halloween. So pretty consistent temperature-wise and right on par with kind of where we should be with that average temperature. So we know we're going to be in the 50s. Precipitation chances increase midweek next week, but then fall come Friday. And so as long as that verifies, we should have a relatively dry Halloween. There's just that isolated chance come Friday, and you can see how we illustrate that here. And so we start to see come Friday morning maybe a little bit of moisture on the west side of the state. Before we continue that timeline, I do have to point out a little bit of blue up into the New England region. That would indicate snow. We've had snow on Halloween before, but we're not forecasting that for us this year. Now here's the moisture that wraps in by the time we get in the later part of your Friday. That still stays mainly north of here. So I do think that we dodge that for trick-or-treating, but we'll keep a close eye on that as we get closer. What I think is the most notable part of the forecast for Halloween, howling winds. And so the wind model will be anywhere from about 20 to 30 mile per hour when it comes to the gusts. So by the time we get to 6 a.m., it looks like we're about 20 miles per hour with those wind gusts, but then we start to see some stronger winds building in throughout the afternoon and into the evening. And so if your kids have maybe, whether it's an umbrella or a hat, something like that, part of their attire for Halloween, their costume, well, you want to hold on to that tight because the winds will be whipping. We have 50s in that 7-day forecast for you. Rain late Tuesday, chance for showers holding on come Wednesday as we begin to dry things out for the later part of next week.
All right, Ashley, thank you so much. Again, live here outside in Ralph C. Wilson Centennial Park. It is a beautiful morning. It'll be even better when Floor Director Michelle goes down that slide. Technical Director Mike is watching. He says it has to happen. And look at this, all of the cool stuff they have for the kids. I think that's a big fish. It certainly is. We're going to show you more of the park and the history of this land and who Ralph C. Wilson is when we come back here on Local 4 Live. Good morning, everybody. I'm Nick Monticelli with the Local 4 update. Local 4 Live is on the road in the park as we speak right now. A live look at this brand new 22-acre park that is opening to the public tomorrow. It's got views of the river, the Ambassador Bridge, the Gordie Howe Bridge, and more. Sky Drone 4 showing you overhead here. Coming up at 8:30 over on Local 4 Plus, we're taking a look at the history behind how this park came to be, as well as learning a little bit about its namesake, Ralph C. Wilson. We're also going to take you to some of the wonderful attractions here, including a 2-acre water garden. Local 4 Live will be back in just a few minutes over on Local 4 Plus. Click on Detroit and streaming over on YouTube.
From downtown Detroit, Local 4 Live starts right now.
Welcome back to Local 4 Live, everybody. Drone 4 hovering above the brand new Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Centennial Park. You can see all of the different attractions there on your screen. The play garden, the water garden, the tot lot, and way off in the distance is the Ambassador Bridge. It is a beautiful park that is opening to the public tomorrow. Welcome back to Local 4 Live, everybody. I'm Nick Monticelli. I want to take you behind the scenes just here for a moment. Floor Director Michelle, every once in a while, will count us down so we know how much time we have left in the show. But she's wearing gloves, so I can't see her fingers. She just keeps waving at me. I don't know what it means. The park is opening to the public tomorrow, as we mentioned. But this morning, we're going to give you a look at all is happening here. A look at the history, the story behind Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Centennial Park and how we got to this point today. The Detroit Riverfront Conservancy bought the land back in 2007, and by 2013, it became the West Riverfront Park. Jump ahead to 2018, the park was renamed to the Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Centennial Park. And during this time, a team of community members who traveled around the world to study other great parks shared their ideas. It's an $80 million project to revitalize the park. It broke ground in 2022, and it was a way to improve the area and create a place for all Detroiters and all Metro Detroiters to visit, which brings us to tomorrow when it's going to open to the public. Let's figure out about the man more behind the name. Ralph C. Wilson Jr. was born in 1918 in Columbus, Ohio, but he grew up here in the Detroit area, a place he called home, his entire life. He fought in World War II, pausing his law studies at the University of Michigan. He built a legacy in business and owned the Buffalo Bills for 54 years. Known for his generosity, Ralph used his foundation to improve lives in Detroit and in Buffalo. The park got a $50 million gift from his foundation and was renamed on his 100th birthday to honor his impact. As you mentioned, there are so many things to see and do here. Again, it's 22 acres. So that's why we have our brand new reporter, Amaya Kuznicki, joining us here on Local 4 Live to give us a tour. You've been down a slide already, and now I think you're probably going to go fishing?
Nick, actually, there's no water right now in the water garden. We're just going to have to use our imagination. It's a little chilly out here. So the water might have to wait until we get some warmer temperatures here in Detroit. But we can still see what the idea is. And it's not only just a water garden. It's kind of a classroom. And people are actually going to use this to demonstrate things. And you can see there's a pump here. So just, use your imagination. Like I said, we can all do it. And then you can also pull these up. It acts as a dam. And a really cool part about this is the water that's here is actually getting pumped from the Detroit River. So I think that's a really fun fact. But this is just one of the many areas here. It's actually 2.5 acres. So we're going to swing you around and give you a little bit of a view. There's a lot to do, and it's a place for families to, you can splash around. Not necessarily right now, but I don't think we want to be splashing around in water right now. It's a little chilly out here. But like I said, the classrooms are going to be using this as an outdoor space. One of the classrooms is actually the Mort Harris classroom, and they're going to use it for nature-based education. And they can also, there's winding paths, there's seating areas, there's a lot to do here. So obviously there's no water, we're going to have to wait, but I think it looks really, really cool. And I think there's a lot that people can learn out here. And even if you don't want to learn, I mean, you can just come here and enjoy the scenery. We have the beautiful Detroit River Walk that we're just staring at, and I'm just in awe standing out here. There's just a lot of cool activities.
I'll tell you what, Amaya, when I was out there earlier just getting a look at it for the first time, I was in awe of how beautiful the area really is. And I just want to clarify, I kind of made a mistake there. The area you're in is actually the water play area. That's the splash pad. The water garden, as I was referring to, is this area right here behind me. So there are so many things that you can see and do, which is incredible for all these Metro Detroiters and the Detroiters that are going to be in our area. Amaya, thank you again so much.
Thank you, Nick.
All right, I do want to have an opportunity here to bring in our next guest as we look live over, again, the park. Ryan Sullivan is the CEO of the Detroit Riverfront Conservancy. He has been out here with me live all morning as well. He even went down the slide with me right afterwards. Ryan, we talked earlier about what a monumental undertaking this has been. As you went through this process, I'm sure you knew it was going to happen, but was there ever a doubt in your mind that it was going to look and feel this good?
It's one of those things that's hard to really expect,
yeah.
To know what your expectations are. And we had a family day last weekend where the staff of the Conservancy was able to bring their closest, family. And so my kids got to be here for the first time. And I think seeing, children interact with the park,
right.
It truly brings everything together and everything that we'd kind of hoped and dreamed for in the park, but to see it happen in their eyes was really special.
When you worked with Ralph Wilson's family on the idea and the motivation behind this, was it truly obviously to build something like this, but build something for Detroiters that they can be proud of too?
Absolutely. From the very beginning, we formed a community advisory team, 21 Detroiters who applied to be part of this group. And spent a lot of time planning, traveled around the country, visited other world-class parks. We're part of an international design competition to select the architect. So, the results of that work it's really been 7 years plus in the making. So there's been a lot that's gone into this from a community design standpoint.
We've been focusing so much time and energy on this park, which we should be because it's brand new and it's opening to the public tomorrow. But this also kind of furthers your mission to beautify all of the Detroit riverfront and connect point A to point B. You're getting so close to making all of this walkable.
Yeah, I'm really glad you asked that question because as we sit here and look at the Ambassador Bridge,
there.
This organization was founded almost 25 years ago with the goal of going bridge to bridge, the Belle Isle MacArthur Bridge to the Ambassador Bridge. With the opening of this park, we're about 2/3 of a mile shy of that original goal. But in addition to that, we have 3 greenways, the Dennis Archer Greenway, the DeQuinder Cut, and the Southwest Greenway.
Right.
So think about going from Michigan Central or Corktown, right at Bagley Street, down the Southwest Greenway to the Riverwalk, all the way to Belle Isle, up the DeQuinder Cut to Eastern Market, everything in between. Right. So the connectivity that is going to be unlocked this weekend when the park opens is truly astonishing for our city.
You know what I love about this too? I love throwing the shade back at all the Detroit haters because there have been so many negative stories about what this city means and what we've gone through. And obviously the bankruptcy issues and some of the issues that we've gone through. But it's very difficult for people to say anything bad now when you look at what's happening behind us.
Totally agree with you. I live on the east side with my family, raising my family here. This past week alone, I had a group here from Portland that came to meet with us. Next week, I'm talking to a group with people from Hawaii and other parts of the country. People are coming to
Hawaii
Detroit.
wants to know how they can be like us.
People are coming to Detroit to be inspired by what has happened here, and that is real. So I think that's something that we should all be proud of. And this is one great moment of many that have happened in our city in recent years that we can all be proud of.
You mentioned that 2.5 miles that's still left. There's still discussions about that. Like this can still happen. It's not like we're saying, oh, we got close.
2/3 of a mile.
Right. Oh, I'm sorry.
2/3 of a mile, less than a mile. Yes, those conversations are ongoing, and we're certainly hopeful that something will happen there. And again, that's the mission of this organization has been from the very beginning, and it will continue to be the mission until it's completed.
Have you discussed, and this is just me throwing things at you right here live on TV, one giant party that goes from bridge to bridge?
I like that idea. We've discussed that.
You should see the teams back here. They're like, oh, God, what have we gotten ourselves into?
No, but I think that there's so many things that can be done, to embrace that connectivity that we talked about. We're talking about doing different, photo challenges and otherwise to get people to explore the whole river walking greenways.
Right. So, and again, the park, I think a lot of people see it as an opportunity to bring their kids and families and have lunch. But there is this beautiful green area right behind us here that you're going to program and actually have events, right?
Absolutely. So there's an outdoor classroom here, as well as this water garden in partnership with the Huron Clinton Metro Parks. This is going to be a destination for field trips of school kids from all over the region to come down here. And this is real Detroit River water that we're bringing in. So you imagine water testing and other types of hands-on science activities that will be happening right here in the Huron Clinton Metro Parks water garden.
Can you take me behind the scenes of what it was like? Because this is man-made. So you had to get an excavator in here and rip some things out and let the Detroit River flow in for a while, right?
Yeah. So this has been a huge engineering project. A group called Limnotech out of Ann Arbor actually was our partners on this. In addition, the shoreline work itself. Mm-hmm. So the EPA, the Army Corps of Engineers, redid the entire shoreline across the span of this park, which was a huge undertaking, and it took years to complete that project.
Ryan, congratulations to you and the Detroit Riverfront Conservancy. What an amazing project. We're looking right now live at the Detroit River Walk. That's the other side of the water garden, so just on that side. Congratulations. Can't wait to see it. And again, press conference 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Start getting here about 9:30. You can bring all your friends. Everybody's coming down. Free and open to the public, right?
Absolutely.
Cool. Ryan, thank you very much. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a short break. We've got news and weather headlines for you coming up. As we go to break here on Local 4 Live, a live shot over at the other end of this beautiful park. You can see all the attractions here. You can see, again, the Detroit River Walk that wraps around that water garden, both on the north and south side of it. And you're very close to walking bridge to bridge. You really could do it if you wanted to. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to Local 4 Live, everybody. Again, a beautiful Friday morning here at the brand new Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Centennial Park. By the end of the show, I might get that name right. Let's take a look at all your headlines here throughout Metro Detroit. One of the big stories we are following is the fact that you've got the man accused of killing Detroit neurosurgeon Dr. Devon Hoover. He's going to be in court later on today. Earlier this year, a judge bound over Desmond Burks in the death of Hoover, who was found dead in his home in April of 2023. Burks was also bound over in another second-degree murder case. He's accused of punching a man during a road rage incident that happened in Dearborn in April of 2024 and then leaving him in the street. The man later died from a head injury. Burks is due in front of a judge at 9 o'clock this morning. Former Pistons star and current Portland Trailblazers head coach Chauncey Billups has now been arrested but released from custody and now due back in court 1 month from today. The FBI says Billups is linked to an illegal poker ring connected to the mafia. Over 30 people were arrested, including Miami Heat's Terry Rozier and ex-Piston DeMond Jones. Rozier is facing charges for rigging games with sports bettors, even faking an injury to get out of a game. Jones allegedly shared inside information with gamblers, like warning that LeBron James would miss a 2023 game. According to sources close to the investigation, Billups was the celebrity face used to draw players into high-stakes poker games with rigged tables.
Defendants used other cheating technologies, such as poker chip tray analyzers, which is a poker chip tray that secretly reads cards using a hidden camera, special contact lenses or eyeglasses that could read pre-marked cards, and an X-ray table that could read cards face down on the table.
And the Portland Trailblazers say Billups was placed on leave following his arrest. Rozier was released on bond after appearing in court yesterday afternoon. All right, we're going to take a short break here on Local 4 Live. When we come back, a full look at your weekend forecast for that big Michigan State game and a look at Halloween. Will it rain? Will it be windy? Ashley has all the answers when we come back as you look live over the brand new Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Centennial Park. Welcome back to Local 4 Live, everybody. We are broadcasting from one of the docks here at the Water Garden, a man-made area right behind me with all that water. We have been talking about the 22 acres and the $80 million project that made all of this happen. It's been a years-long project, and it is finally coming to fruition with the park opening to the public tomorrow. In fact, it's going to be packed, just packed this weekend, which is a good thing, not just because it's a beautiful park and people should be here, but because they're also hosting the annual Harvest Fest out here. You're looking at pictures from years past when the event was actually held at the DeQuinder Cut. In our 9 o'clock hour, we're going to be talking with the Director of Visitor Experience at the Detroit Riverfront Conservancy about that festival and what we can expect to have during the party that's here tomorrow. Speaking of party tomorrow, Ashley says the forecast pretty good for that and for some football game happening.
Now, forewarned weather with Exact Track 4D.
Well, we are going to have a very fall-like weekend, drier conditions to take in. Really the last weekend of fall activities when it comes to the pumpkin patch and things like that, because Halloween's a week from today. So partly cloudy skies through the lunch hour with increasing clouds this afternoon, 52 for the afternoon high. So it's another day where we're still trending a little bit below average. I can't rule out a stray shower chance, and I want to show you what I'm talking about here. So some rain from the northwest could sink down into portions of the thumb or along M59 by about 3-4 o'clock this afternoon, and I'm talking a very isolated light shower or sprinkle that continues to hold on until about 6-7 o'clock this evening. Most of us dodge that, but I just have to at least mention it because our model data is picking up a little bit of moisture, so you could have that passing light shower if you have outdoor activities. Otherwise, tonight we're going to start to peel back those clouds once again, and temperatures will fall into the low 30s, so I do think that we see some patchy frost across town. But if you are heading out to the Rivalry game tomorrow, well, you can plan for about 50 degrees for tailgating out in East Lansing. But once we get to game time, with it being a night game, that 7:30 kickoff, it's going to be chilly. We'll be in the 40s throughout the game. In fact, probably mid to upper 40s at kickoff and low 40s by game's end. So figure out your favorite extra layers of whether it's maize and blue or green and white to wear to the game. We are officially a week away from Halloween, and we're getting new data in when it comes to that forecast. And so I want to bring it to you with our 7-day countdown here. So that 7-day temperature trend will remain in the mid-50s all the way into Halloween. So pretty consistent temperature-wise and right on par with kind of where we should be with that average temperature. So we know we're going to be in the 50s. Precipitation chances increase midweek next week, but then fall come Friday. And so as long as that verifies, we should have a relatively dry Halloween. There's just that isolated chance come Friday, and you can see how we illustrate that here. And so we start to see come Friday morning maybe a little bit of moisture on the west side of the state. Before we continue that timeline, I do have to point out a little bit of blue up into the New England region. That would indicate snow. We've had snow on Halloween before, but we're not forecasting that for us this year. Now here's the moisture that wraps in by the time we get in the later part of your Friday. That still stays mainly north of here. So I do think that we dodge that for trick-or-treating, but we'll keep a close eye on that as we get closer. What I think is the most notable part of the forecast for Halloween, howling winds. And so the wind model will be anywhere from about 20 to 30 mile per hour when it comes to the gusts. So by the time we get to 6 a.m., it looks like we're about 20 miles per hour with those wind gusts, but then we start to see some stronger winds building in throughout the afternoon and into the evening. And so if your kids have maybe, whether it's an umbrella or a hat, something like that, part of their attire for Halloween, their costume, well, you want to hold on to that tight because the winds will be whipping. We have 50s in that 7-day forecast for you. Rain late Tuesday, chance for showers holding on come Wednesday as we begin to dry things out for the later part of next week.
Ashley, thank you so much. We're going to take a short break. When we come back here in just a minute, we are celebrating the opening of this brand new park along the Detroit Riverfront. But first, we should talk about something happening over in East Lansing, where another big event is happening. Producer Mary is very excited for her Wolverines. Don't yell at me, Mary. The Spartans taking on the Wolverines tomorrow on Local 4. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Local 4 Live, everybody. The sun's starting to rise here over the Detroit River. It is warming up. Director Michelle is finally putting a smile on her face. The new Ralph C. Wilson Centennial Park along the Detroit riverfront here, opening to the public tomorrow. We've been showing families what you can expect if you're going to head to this park this weekend. But we also want to talk about what's happening in another area of Metro Detroit that could be impacting you if you're a big Michigan or Michigan State fan. But first, let's talk about it. All right, so the event happening is in East Lansing. You can see all the fall colors are happening on the Michigan State campus right now. The game, you can actually watch it right here on Local 4. This is a live look at Michigan State University, as I mentioned. The Wolverines will be heading there from Ann Arbor into Spartan Country to take on MSU. At stake, of course, is the Paul Bunyan Trophy and bragging rights for an entire year. Now, last night over on Local 4 News at 6 o'clock, Kimberly Gill and Ty Steele talks to somebody with unique knowledge of what it's like to be in the thick of that rivalry. Nicole Nemec, who is a Sparty herself, here's that conversation.
Nicole Nemec, you were Sparty, wearing that iconic mascot suit for 3 years while attending MSU, and you had to keep it a secret, but someone who's here with you figured it out. This is your husband, Ian, and your beautiful 6-month-old baby boy, Miles, and you two actually met at MSU. I love your love story.
Yeah, absolutely, we did. It was something that just kind of happened and worked out, and here we are.
You're the mascot, and you were the basketball manager.
Correct. Yep. She came up to me at a party and said, "I know you from the basketball games," and I said, and then I figured out her secret pretty quickly, and college was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we had the Sparty love child right here.
Love child right here. He is adorable.
Maybe a future Sparty, hopefully.
Oh, I hope.
Yeah. How do you get the job as Sparty? Is like an application you fill out? Like, what do you do?
Oh yeah, so it's like a super secret tryout process. And so when you start, there's prerequisites. You know, you got to make sure your academics are good and you can represent the university. But then beyond that, it's a lot of improv. So if you make it to the final part of the tryout, they throw you in a suit, put you in a crowd of people, and hopefully you know what you're doing.
And you must have a killer personality because you won that. So being Sparty comes at a price. You had to give up a lot. What was the toughest part of going to college and also being Sparty?
Well, I don't know if you know this, but you can't tell people you're Sparty when you're at the university.
That's tough.
So the boots, the big photo you can see is you wear it at graduation. So the toughest part was being forced to be humble. So I'd be on the field, I'd be traveling across the country. My roommates are like, "Where are you?" And I have to say, "I'm at home with my parents."
For 3 years?
Yeah, absolutely. You get good at lying.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So what'd you learn about the Michigan State-Michigan rivalry during those 3 years wearing that costume?
Oh, a lot.
I bet.
When you see through the eyes of Sparty, you know, you think someone's walking up to you, and then all of a sudden they start, you know, looking at you like you're this big buff guy, and hey, I went to U of M, and you gotta, oh, okay, that's right, that's who I am. But I mean, obviously through the games it gets really competitive, but then there's other moments when you're fundraising or other events where it's a one team, one effort kind of deal. But yeah, I definitely learned a lot, and then I've never felt more scared for my life than being in Ann Arbor on the field after a win.
I bet. Huge target, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, when did Ian find out that you were Sparty?
I did not tell him, for the record, because it's a secret. You know, you're not supposed to. However, you know, when you work in athletics and Nicole goes into a locker room and Sparty comes out, there's only so much you can do.
Figured it out.
So it was about, I think, 2 years into my college experience, and by the end of it.
Yeah, she traveled on a few team planes for the basketball team, and coaches were asking me, "Why is your girlfriend on this plane?" And I'm like, "She's in the band, maybe."
All right, well, Nicole Nemec, formerly Sparty, Ian and Miles, thank you guys for being on the show. Absolutely. Love your love story. Love the rivalry that you got to tell us more about.
And I'm actually want to make sure that Kim gave that baby back. Tomorrow, join us for Local 4 News at 6 o'clock, and then our pre-show game starting at 6:30 before game coverage starts at 7 o'clock. We are going to take a short break here on Local 4 Live and reset for the next show at 9 a.m. as we had to break a live look behind the scenes and a surprise shot. Floor director Michelle. Oh, where you going, Michelle? Come here. Michelle, where you going? She got over here. That's your safe spot. That's your safe. Yeah, it is.
You have 10 seconds.
Hi, everybody. We'll be right back.
From downtown Detroit, Local 4 Live starts right now.
Welcome back to Local 4 Live. Everybody, a live look thanks to Drone 4 hovering above Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Centennial Park, the brand new addition to the Detroit riverfront. You can see a freighter off in the middle over there, and the park on the left-hand side, the water garden right in the middle. It is a BEA beautiful park that is opening for you tomorrow. 22 acres. The park opens to the public again tomorrow. We have been showing you this all morning long. Everything you can expect, and the fun continues in our next hour. In fact, that is a brand new mural that was painted just for this park. Thank you for joining me, everybody. I'm Nick Monticelli here on Local 4 Live. So much to show you, so much to get to as we broadcast from this beautiful Detroit riverfront. And of course, we have all of your news and weather headlines as well. But let's start with the backstory, how we got here. The opening of this park has been years in the making. Again, Drone 4 hovering above us right now. It was early 2017 when the Detroit Riverfront Conservancy started the process of transforming this area. It's part of their goal to revitalize 5.5 miles along this riverfront. This park, the Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Centennial Park, is on West Jefferson between 8th Street and Rosa Parks Boulevard. It's named again after Ralph C. Wilson Jr., a philanthropist who was dedicated to improving the quality of life in his hometown of Detroit. Now, as I mentioned, we have been taking you into the big attractions that you want to see if you're going to bring you or your family out here. In our last hour, we showed you these two, the Delta Dental Play Gardens. That is 5 acres, featuring those slides shaped like animals. And then there's the Huron Metro Parks Water Garden. That's a man-made 2.5 acre area. It is the first ever Metro Park located within the city of Detroit. In our next hour, you'll get a glimpse at these two spots, the DTE Foundation Summit. That is a huge plot of grass featuring beautiful views of the river and the Ambassador Bridge and the brand new Gordie Howe International Bridge. The William Davidson Sporthouse, that's an open air pavilion with 2 regulation basketball courts. In fact, there's a Pistons logo right in the middle of them. So let's head out to our brand new reporter. Speaking of brand new things, Amaya Kuznicki, she is live at that DTE Foundation Summit. It's, from what I understand, Amaya, going to be a great spot to take in the views, grab a sandwich for lunch, or enjoy a little concert if they throw something together.
Yeah, Nick, you're right. I mean, I know our cameras are good, but you really have to get out here to take in this view for yourself. I mean, look at these rolling hills that we have here. It's actually one of the best spots in the city. I mean, you can see the Ambassador Bridge, the Gordie Howe Bridge. I know we were just talking, me and my photographer, talking about how many people we're going to see out here, probably taking wedding pictures, senior photos. I mean, soon this will probably be full of blankets for picnics. I mean, not soon, because I guess we're getting into the cold weather. And I guess speaking of cold weather, they actually said that this area can be used for sledding, which I think is something that's extra cool because it can be used in the summer and the winter. And then we're going to swing you around. We actually see them setting up the stage here. So there's going to be concerts, movie nights. There's just a lot of fun stuff going on here. And it's really, really exciting to see everything come together. I mean, just staring at this grass, this rolling grass in the middle of the city is just really, really spectacular. And you got to come check it out for yourself.
I can't wait. Amaya, thank you so much. I love the stage that is set up for the giant party that they're going to be throwing. And speaking of the giant party, joining me live now is Rachel Frierson. She is the Chief Operating Officer of the Detroit Riverfront Conservancy. First of all, Rachel, I asked everybody. I asked Mark, I asked Ryan, how excited are you? Because this is awesome.
I don't think words can describe. This has been a long time in the making. I remember when we opened this space in 2014, it was just a flat piece of property.
Right.
So now we're here 11 years later. This is absolutely incredible.
When you look around the park, I know it's like choosing a favorite child, but do you have a favorite area?
We're here, the water garden.
Yeah.
You know, it's a way for us to bring the water in, and that's what the community always asked for. They really wanted to be closer and connect to the river, and we've been able to do it here with the Huron Clinton Metro Parks Water Garden.
Yeah. Now, when you look at especially the play areas that you set up for the kids and the families, it's not just like one little slide. You've got a whole lot going on over there.
Yeah, it is quite a party. And what I love is it's really a spot where kids can explore on their own. They can try some new risks. They have to run up these otters and these bears.
I tried doing it. It didn't go well.
No, it's not made for us, Nick.
You know, speaking of, though, being made for, there are special areas of the park that are accessible for those who have some, different kind of abilities.
For sure. We wanted to make sure that everyone could experience this park, right? So when you go up the DTE Summit, there's a great sloping path that takes you around the other trails. Same with the play garden. And there's accessibility throughout all of the play features as well.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about, I keep calling it the party. I don't know if that's what you're going to call it, but that's what it is in my mind. And we've got a press conference at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. The gate's kind of opening around 9:30 so people can start filling in. But what does the rest of the day look like?
Tomorrow is going to be absolutely incredible. If you've been to our Detroit Harvest Fest on the DeQuinder Cut, expect food trucks, lots of community participation, music from Southwest Detroit and the city of Detroit and the Jacksons, right? Motown's favorites, they're going to be here.
Okay, so it's a party then.
It's going to be a party. And come back on Sunday. Both days will have nothing but excitement.
Right. Okay, so if someone wants to come down for the party tomorrow, what's your advice in terms of when to get here, when to park, how to get around?
Yeah. We have free parking at the Bagley Mobility Hub, so right by Michigan Central.
Okay.
Shuttles will take you down here. There's also free parking over at the Assembly Garage. And that's the best way to get down here. You can take the people mover, you can ride your bike and then park it right outside. But lots of ways, really, you can take your bike all the way from Belle Isle down here starting tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's one thing that Ryan and I were talking about earlier is that, the entire goal of the Riverfront Conservancy has been to build this area up. And I know the goal is bridge to bridge. We're almost there. Is that still reality to get from Belle Isle all the way to Ambassador?
Yeah, we continue to work on it, right? We've been working on it for 20 years. I think we've made incredible progress. We have about 7+ miles, including our greenways that we manage, and we've connected communities. So we're not going to stop until we finish it up.
No. I don't want to disparage any other park or any other feature in the city of Detroit. But looking at this park, I just kind of get that vibe that this is what we've been missing when you compare us to other cities and why we're trying to and how we can attract more people, and to say this is not just a downtown area, this isn't just some place to work, this is some place to live.
Right. Detroit deserves a 21st century reimagined public space parks that we've seen in Chicago and New York and the like. And so we're so excited that our community, all Detroiters, all Metro Detroiters, will be able to come down here and enjoy this together.
Yeah, and I'm also hearing that there are already other cities looking at us and saying, we want to be like you.
Yeah, I think Ryan had a team in from Portland the other day. We had Philadelphia in here. I mean, people are constantly coming to Detroit in awe of the work that we've been able to do together, both the city and all the city parks as well as the Riverfront Conservancy's properties.
The entire purpose of us being out here is to promote this brand new park, but I do want to spend just a moment or two talking about the rest of the work that the Conservancy is doing, because you've got a lot of things coming up, a lot of events happening. Can you kind of give us the calendar?
Yeah, we're having a big party this weekend, but join us at Valade Park over on the East Riverfront for Day of the Dead, another celebration. That'll be back on November 1st. Really excited about that. And then we'll be doing stuff through the winter. We always have sleds out, and then come back in the spring and you'll see, a continued river walk as well.
Okay.
So lots of activities.
All right. What kind of bribery needs to happen for me to get you to go down a slide?
Not many. I've been down all of them, so I'll do it again.
Even the otter?
It's part of the job.
You got up the otter?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I know the otter was challenging.
It is.
I will definitely tell you.
I'm telling you, there's areas in there that are made for 4-year-olds.
Yeah, it might have taken me like 5 minutes, but I figured it out. So.
Rachel, thank you so much. We're going to take a short break here on Local 4 Live. When we come back, much more here at the Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Centennial Park. More tours, more news, more headlines, more weather when Local 4 Live comes back. Welcome back to Local 4 Live, everybody. Live here at the brand new park, where we are going to get to your news headlines right now. One of the big stories that we are following is what's happening far north of here. A live look thanks to Sky 4 out in Washington Township, as you're looking right now at a historic schoolhouse that is being moved to a new location. This is the Thorington Schoolhouse, again in Washington Township. It was built in the 19th century, and then it closed for good in the 1950s. So why is it moving now? Well, the land it sits on is just too small, not big enough for the township plans for a septic field or parking. So it's moving to a 5-acre park. And when that is done, the hope is elementary students relive some history. We are told that electricians, carpenters, plumbers, a whole lot of skilled trades will be volunteering to put in heating and cooling so it can be used year-round. In fact, get this, Romeo High School students are going to play a major role in this as well.
Once this is located, what helped to offset the cost is that the Romeo High School Trades Department, they'll be doing all the preservation work, so it gives the students real-world experience while saving us some cost to preserve the program.
What a great opportunity for them. In fact, Michigan State University and Greenfield Village will also help those students with the original wood molding work and redoing the glass. Again, what a very cool thing to see. And as you saw over Sky 4, it's happening right now. If you want to go take a look for yourself, it's in the 31 Mile and Mound area. Other headlines today, another ripple effect from the federal government shutdown hitting millions of families in need. If lawmakers cannot reach an agreement soon, there will not be enough federal dollars left over to pay out full SNAP and WIC benefits. Shante Passmore is showing us how this will make it much harder for some people to get food on the table.
Good morning. We've looked at the national and state level as far as who would be impacted, but let's look at the local level here in the city of Detroit. The Motor City's overall poverty rate is over 34%. And if lawmakers don't reach a deal within the next 8 days, families will have to scramble on how to get food on the table. This morning, millions of Americans facing a dire possibility: how to cover groceries and baby formula if they lose critical benefits.
They don't get paid livable wages. And so their budget is the difference between them being able to pay their rent, being able to pay childcare, car insurance.
Gina Platanino is the acting director for the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, known as SNAP, at the Food Research and Action Center, an advocacy group. Roughly 42 million people rely on SNAP benefits to help pay for food. Across the Midwest, long lines are forming at food banks like this one in Iowa.
The charitable food system cannot fill this gap, no matter how hard we try.
Here in Michigan, our Damon Fernandez shows us how Second Canaan Outreach Ministry is prepping for more demand.
We're real busy. I mean, real busy.
Drone 4 shows cars wrapped around the building. Volunteers at the ministry say demand for food assistance has been growing for months in neighborhoods hit hard by job losses and rising prices. They expect the weekly crowd to swell even further if SNAP payments are delayed.
People are really struggling, and then things is getting real tight, people not working, out of work.
From the heartland to the nation's capital, millions of Americans hoping the gridlock ends ahead of the November 1st deadline. And other groups tell Local 4 that they're bracing for the very real possibility that they'll have to stand in the gap to help these struggling families. Meanwhile, the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services says that participants should reach out to their local SNAP office if they have any questions. We're in Detroit. I'm Shante Passmore, Local 4.
Shante, thank you so much. Our live coverage continues here at the brand new Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Centennial Park. A live look thanks to Drone 4 over the beautiful area. Look at how gorgeous that is. You can't beat that shot. The Detroit River, the Rensen, the brand new park, Belle Isle off in the background, and my favorite floor director, Michelle, about to jump in the water garden herself. I'll be right back. Hey everybody, welcome back to Local 4 Live. On the road here, looking at the brand new mural that was painted just for this park. There's a great story there, and we'll get to that in a little bit. One thing we do want to talk about, though, is the forecast, not only for that big Michigan State game that's happening tomorrow night right here on Local 4, but also your Halloween forecast. Hey, Ash.
Now, forewarned weather with Exact Track 4D.
Well, we are going to have a very fall-like weekend, drier conditions to take in. Really the last weekend of fall activities when it comes to the pumpkin patch and things like that, because Halloween's a week from today. So partly cloudy skies through the lunch hour with increasing clouds this afternoon, 52 for the afternoon high. So it's another day where we're still trending a little bit below average. I can't rule out a stray shower chance, and I want to show you what I'm talking about here. So some rain from the northwest could sink down into portions of the thumb or along M59 by about 3-4 o'clock this afternoon, and I'm talking a very isolated light shower or sprinkle that continues to hold on until about 6-7 o'clock this evening. Most of us dodge that, but I just have to at least mention it because our model data is picking up a little bit of moisture, so you could have that passing light shower if you have outdoor activities. Otherwise, tonight we're going to start to peel back those clouds once again, and temperatures will fall into the low 30s, so I do think that we see some patchy frost across town. But if you are heading out to the Rivalry game tomorrow, well, you can plan for about 50 degrees for tailgating out in East Lansing. But once we get to game time, with it being a night game, that 7:30 kickoff, it's going to be chilly. We'll be in the 40s throughout the game. In fact, probably mid to upper 40s at kickoff and low 40s by game's end. So figure out your favorite extra layers of whether it's maize and blue or green and white to wear to the game. We are officially a week away from Halloween, and we're getting new data in when it comes to that forecast. And so I want to bring it to you with our 7-day countdown here. So that 7-day temperature trend will remain in the mid-50s all the way into Halloween. So pretty consistent temperature-wise and right on par with kind of where we should be with that average temperature. So we know we're going to be in the 50s. Precipitation chances increase midweek next week, but then fall come Friday. And so as long as that verifies, we should have a relatively dry Halloween. There's just that isolated chance come Friday, and you can see how we illustrate that here. And so we start to see come Friday morning maybe a little bit of moisture on the west side of the state. Before we continue that timeline, I do have to point out a little bit of blue up into the New England region. That would indicate snow. We've had snow on Halloween before, but we're not forecasting that for us this year. Now here's the moisture that wraps in by the time we get in the later part of your Friday. That still stays mainly north of here. So I do think that we dodge that for trick-or-treating, but we'll keep a close eye on that as we get closer. What I think is the most notable part of the forecast for Halloween, howling winds. And so the wind model will be anywhere from about 20 to 30 mile per hour when it comes to the gusts. So by the time we get to 6 a.m., it looks like we're about 20 miles per hour with those wind gusts, but then we start to see some stronger winds building in throughout the afternoon and into the evening. And so if your kids have maybe, whether it's an umbrella or a hat, something like that, part of their attire for Halloween, their costume, well, you want to hold on to that tight because the winds will be whipping. We have 50s in that 7-day forecast for you. Rain late Tuesday, chance for showers holding on come Wednesday as we begin to dry things out for the later part of next week.
Ashley, thank you so much. When we come back, we're going to take you on more tours around this beautiful park. And Kimberly Gill got a tour with the minds behind how all this came together.
This area will be filled with families, children, and plenty of activities. The park has been years in the making. It's part of a plan to completely reimagine Detroit's riverfront.
We're putting some final touches on some of the landscaping.
The new Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Centennial Park is designed with intention. Gorgeous views of the Detroit River framed by the Ambassador and Gordie Howe bridges. The 22-acre park has been years in the making, first imagined back in 2017.
During that time, the land parcel was just flat.
Rhonda Collins and Karen Slaughter Duperry are two women who have been on site nearly every day, overseeing its construction, helping to bring this vision to life.
If you want to come to the park and fish, wherever you see the railing, you can fish.
They walked me through the park's four main areas, starting with the William Davidson Sport House. It's a giant, covered pavilion with full-size basketball courts that can be used year-round.
Our focus primarily was to put in place the top of the concrete canopy, and then also to install the columns at the angles that you currently see them.
Next to that, a big grassy area to be used for picnics, concerts, and outdoor movie nights. So people would just kind of bring blankets and sit on the hill and just chill out and watch a big screen.
Well, as a matter of fact, during the opening, the 25th and 26th, the Jacksons will be here. And so you can have that type of concert, and we'll have gospel on Sunday. In the wintertime, because we are thinking about all the seasons, that's your sledding hill. And we'll probably have igloos in the sport house.
And this is the water garden?
This is the water garden.
This used to be a parking lot.
Wow.
And we carved it out.
Water from the Detroit River is pumped into this pond for nature-based educational programming and beautiful views. Up next is the Delta Dental Play Garden. It's a children's playground with slides imported from Denmark. There's a tandem slide for adults and kids, and an area for little kids too.
So this is the Henry Ford tot lot. We've got a small miniature version of Fort Wayne over here. And then we also have some really nice animals that we had some of the local elementary school students to actually design these animals. So we have a bird, a fox, and then a bass.
Plus an interactive water play area that will open in spring of 2026.
October, a little too cold.
A little too cold. For both women, the project represents far more than a park. It's about pride, progress, and Detroit's renewal.
To be a native Detroiter, went to all Detroit public schools, ended up at Cass with architecture, and then went up to U of M and got my master's degree in architecture. And then to be asked to work on a project that's going to change my own city, it's definitely very rewarding.
It is just surreal right now to be in this place where we are complete, we are finished. And I would say that I am proud of this park. I am happy to see it. I'm really hoping that Detroiters love it, that when they come here, that they, sense community, that they see nature's beauty, that they have fun times with their family.
And with all of that hard work about to pay off, it's actually time to celebrate and throw a party. We're going to detail exactly what tomorrow's celebration is going to look like, because the Detroit Riverfront Conservancy is opening this thing with a tandem party with the park's grand opening. It's all about their Harvest Fest. We'll explain all that when Local 4 Live comes back.
From downtown Detroit, Local 4 Live starts right now.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Local 4 Live. Drone 4 hovering above the brand new Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Centennial Park, which is along the Detroit riverfront. A gorgeous shot, as you can see the brand new park right in front of you there, the man-made water garden, all the play features and things for kids to do off the distance, and the Detroit River, and then Windsor on the other side. We're going to be taking you through every square inch of this park over the next 30 minutes. Welcome back to Local 4 Live. I'm Nick Monticelli. The park officially opens to all of you, the public, tomorrow. But this morning we are taking you behind the scenes, a special look at everything they have to offer. And I'm telling you, it's pretty cool. This is an amazing park. This park is going to be packed all weekend long, not just because it's opening, but because the Detroit Riverfront Conservancy is hosting their annual Harvest Fest, moving it from the DeQuinder Cut to this brand new park. This is pictures from last year's event when it was held at that DeQuinder Cut. We're going to talk more about that in a moment with one of the leaders from the Conservancy. But first, let's continue our tour of the park. Local 4's newest reporter, her very first assignment, Amaya Kuznicki. She's over at the William Davidson Sport House, where there are 2 basketball courts, 2 Detroit Pistons logos. What a cool spot to be. Hey, Amaya.
Oh, it's super cool, Nick, and named after the former owner of the Detroit Pistons and Detroit Chalk, William Bill Davidson. And what better way to kick off the NBA season with these 2 full NBA-sized courts. And the cool thing about this is we're going to give you a look up, actually. It's completely covered. So hot day, cold day, you can still be out here playing ball. And then they do have rules of the court, which I think is pretty important since, like you said, it's going to be pretty packed here all weekend. And I think anytime people can get here, it's going to be pretty busy. But they want you to limit your games to about 30 minutes just to make sure everyone has a chance to play. And we're going to give you some drone footage too of the area. And it is super, super cool. And I wish I had a basketball out here for you guys, but it's probably for the best that I don't have a basketball so I don't embarrass myself on the first day. I think I just need to stick to being a reporter and journalist. And the overall structure is more than 28,000 square feet. It features 33 steel columns and a 2,000 square foot Oculus skylight. And you know, you really do have to come out here, see it for yourself. Bring your basketball, bring your friends, bring your family. It's a really cool place to be. Nick, back to you.
No kidding, Amaya. All right, thank you very much. Now joining me here live just outside the water garden here is Addison Mock. She is the director of visitor experiences here at the Detroit Riverfront Conservancy, which is awesome. I mean, this place is so cool.
It is. We are so excited that we are finally going to have people here. We have been,
You've been so lonely for so long.
It's been a construction site. It's been renderings. It's been things we've imagined. And the fact that tomorrow it is going to be full of people and then that the space is here for the public in perpetuity is so exciting. You know, we believe that this is a space Detroiters deserve. We should have these beautiful spaces here. And so I can't wait to have people finally experience it for the first time.
So let's talk about the Harvest Fest, which usually at the DeQuinder Cut, you're like, we got a new space, let's move it over. Why not?
Of course, yeah. So if you've been down to the DeQuinder Cut, you know that it's a perfect fall festival. But when you have a brand new space like this, you just have to bring it here. So we've closed down all of West Jefferson, filled it with food trucks, many of which are from Southwest Detroit. So a lot of what we did in the event for this weekend was bring vendors and musicians and partners from the neighborhoods that surround the park.
Yeah.
You know, there was so much community involvement in the design of this park. We wanted to make sure that the event that opened it reflected that as well.
Can you talk more about that? Because the time I've been here the past couple of hours, I'm recognizing that this isn't just a park for Detroiters. It was built and designed by Detroiters.
Yes, literally, for Detroiters, by Detroiters was the goal all along. And we're really proud of how many community meetings, how we had a community advisory team of 22 people that actually traveled the country to go see other parks and then decided what should be in this park. So we didn't want to build a park that was just a copy paste of another city.
Sure.
We wanted it to feel like something that had some of the best elements that park design has to offer, but with something that felt really unique to here. So we had a lot of people who helped us, including over in the play garden, as I'm sure you've talked about, some kids actually designed.
But I want to talk more about it. I did not realize that there were kids that took some Play-Doh and said, I want to see this fox. And you're like, all right, we'll make it.
And we made it. So when you come and you say, that's an interesting looking play feature, know that a kid designed it. Now, these kids are now in high school, so
it's been a few years.
But we wanted to build things with care and make sure that that the voice of all different ages and all different community members was involved in all of the processes, including the planning of the Harvest Fest, which is going to feel like a really Detroit celebration.
Ironically, a food truck just pulled in behind you there in your shot. We've got
One of my favorites,
Big Bo's Grit is here.
Yes.
Looking looking at the party tomorrow, I understand press conference at 10 o'clock.
Yes.
Its gates are kind of going to open around 9:30 so people can just kind of
Yeah.
filter in a little bit. Is this an all-day party?
All day, 11 to 8. And we've thought about everything. So we know the sun goes down at 6:30. So we're going to keep you busy all day long in the sunshine with the Pistons on the Sport House, with the food trucks, 12 trick-or-treat stations, a pumpkin patch, an art alley full of crafts inspired by the park, including, while supplies last, you can build your own stuffed animal bear slide.
No kidding.
Like a Build-A-Bear situation.
Okay.
And then in the evening, we're taking over the Sport House with glow yoga. So once the sun goes down, you'll get your glow sticks. Our first ever fitness class here in the park, one of our most populars that we host on the river.
Glow yoga?
Glow yoga. You get glow sticks that you use as part of the classes. We'll have some fun lighting. It's a really fun way to be active, but also get a little fun and creative.
Director Michelle is all over this. Look at her face.
Perfect. I'll see you there. Can't wait.
And it ends just in time to go watch a pretty important football game.
Exactly. It ends at
Was that
8.
by design?
All along.
Oh,
yes.
yeah, right.
You can come pregame here. We have adult beverages. We'll have all the good tailgate food. We got cornhole. So it's your perfect pregame experience. And then head home, watch the game, and then come back Sunday because we've got all sorts of stuff, including a gospel showcase, Larry Lee in the back in the day band. And there are 3 stages in this park, as well as our coffee house lounge, which has got acoustic music, yellow light donuts. So there really is something for everyone here.
That's awesome. You know, what I'm kind of looking forward to is your party is going to be incredible. But what I really want to see is what the park becomes to people over the next, let's say, year or so.
Absolutely.
And it just becomes a normal spot.
Yeah, we've been talking a lot about how we don't actually know what people are going to be excited about and what's going to stand out. So we've had this vision, but once we have people in the park, we're hoping to keep this community engagement going. So we hope you'll let us know what your favorite spots are, what the areas are that you want to see programmed, what we need to stay away from and let you just enjoy. And knowing that we have this amazing riverfront from bridge to bridge, and our programming has really continued to evolve with what people need. I mean, we had winter programming in the pandemic. We have work from the park days that we started when people started virtual
That's
work.
what I'm doing right now.
Exactly. It's a nice office. So we like to continue to adapt based off of what the public is asking for. So we hope after people are here, they let us know what they want to keep seeing, and we'll just keep growing with what the community needs.
There are 8 slides in the play garden.
Yes.
How many have you gone down?
All of them.
All of them?
Yes. Some easier than others, as I heard you talking to Rachel about.
The otter is not the easiest.
I tested a few when it was still in construction before they were cleaned off, and so I got a little dirty. But, you know, we don't want the public doing anything that we wouldn't do on our team. So they are for all ages. And we're actually going to, I talked about the glow yoga, tomorrow night and Saturday night, have a glow party over in the play garden.
Of course you are.
You know, we got to keep it all lit up all evening, and adults can play too. Why not? That's what a park is for.
Is there a favorite spot of yours?
Ooh, this is a good. I mean, the slides are pretty amazing. I will say there is a really gorgeous area over here that is just you can hear the river really peacefully near it, and so. While I love all our big, active, exciting spaces, what I love is how close you can get to the river here and just sit and have a reflective moment, something that's a little bit more peaceful, which is so important. And this park is designed so that you can sort of escape away from everything that's around you.
And
so I have some favorite little spots.
I've heard, I don't know if you want to give away your secrets, that this area right behind us, this kind of green area, you might use for some like small concerts and kind of things.
Yeah, concerts. We have sound bowls happening here this weekend, so sort of meditative experiences. I mean, we're able to do a lot here. So we're hoping to keep trying things and see what works in all the different spaces that we have.
Last question for you is that I talked to Ryan and Rachel about this too, is that, again, not to disparage any other green area in Detroit or park or attraction, but this is kind of the thing that we needed.
Yes. Yes, what I love is that there are kids who are going to come here this weekend and just believe this is normal, that Detroiters get these amazing spaces, and you don't have to travel to some theme park or to some like flashy other location, that this is what if growing up in Detroit looks like.
Yeah.
And
it will be from now on.
Yes, absolutely.
Addison, thank you so much.
Thank you so
Appreciate it.
much.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
Such a cool spot. All right, we're going to take a short break here on Local 4 Live. When we come back, we'll get to your news headlines. We'll get to the weather that Ashley has, which, by the way, looks phenomenal for opening day here at the Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Centennial Park. We'll be right back. Hey everybody, welcome back to Local 4 Live. I'm Nick Monticelli. It's time now for a check of your news headlines on a Friday. We'll start with one of the big stories that we've been following, the arrest of Pistons legends and current Portland coach Chauncey Billups. He is not the only one. More than 30 people were taken into custody across nearly a dozen states. That includes Miami Heat's Terry Rozier. Prosecutors say Rozier helped rig games with sports bettors, and in one case, they claim he even faked an injury. As for Billups, they say he and others were involved in illegal poker games tied to the mafia. The victims, who prosecutors call fish, were lured into playing alongside high-profile athletes. A live look now at the White House, where President Donald Trump says he is ending all trade negotiations with Canada. This comes as legal questions continue over the Trump administration's military strikes against alleged drug trafficking boats. NBC's Alice Barr has details from Washington.
Hi there. We're tracking a lot of new developments, starting with trade tensions ratcheting up once again with one of America's closest allies. President Trump overnight calling off all trade negotiations with Canada over this Government of Ontario ad featuring former President Reagan saying high tariffs lead to retaliation and fierce trade wars.
Then the worst happens. Markets shrink and collapse, businesses and industries shut down, and millions of people lose their jobs.
The president citing a statement from the Ronald Reagan Presidential Foundation and Institute accusing Ontario of using selective audio and video that misrepresents the 1987 address without asking permission to use and edit the remarks, noting the foundation is reviewing legal options. President Trump accusing Ontario of interfering with a looming Supreme Court case on the legality of his tariffs that he called very important to national security and the economy. That amid growing legal questions over the Trump administration's military strikes against alleged drug trafficking boats in the Caribbean Sea and Eastern Pacific Ocean.
The cartels are waging war on America, and just as I promised in the campaign, we're waging war on them.
The president now suggesting operations may move on land, saying his administration will inform Congress about targeting drug runners on land, but stop short of promising to seek authorization for military force. Democrats in Congress calling for hearings on the strikes that have killed at least 37 people. The administration has not presented evidence there were drugs in all of the boats, though the president is adamant the strikes are legal and necessary to keep drugs out of the country. President Trump also announced he's backing off plans to send National Guard troops to San Francisco amid backlash from the tech community, saying he'll focus instead on other cities like Chicago. The president leaves tonight for Asia in a trip set to include a meeting with China's president as a critical trade deal remains elusive. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Alice, thank you. Back here at home, a live look over at Michigan State right now because that rivalry that divides Michigan down the middle is about to kick off. The fall colors you can see already transforming that Michigan State campus before the Wolverines show up tomorrow for the big game. That matchup actually going to be right here on Local 4. Tomorrow night's game is on Local 4. Our special college football Saturday pre-show is at 6:30. Before the game, coverage begins at 7 o'clock. Then we'll have post-game coverage right here again on Local 4 News at 11. And you'll want to throw on some extra game day gear when you head out to East Lansing. If you're going to the game to watch the game or maybe do some tailgating, Ashley says it's going to be a little brisk. Her forecast when we come back. Hey everybody, welcome back to Local 4 Live with a live look over the Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Centennial Park here on this beautiful fall Friday day. Although Floor Director Michelle says it's a little chilly, but that's okay. What does she know? We'll see if the rest of the show happens now. She might take me out. Let's check out your forecast with forewarned meteorologist Ashley Barrissey. Hey Ash.
Now, forewarned weather with Exact Track 4D.
Well, we are going to have a very fall-like weekend, drier conditions to take in. Really the last weekend of fall activities when it comes to the pumpkin patch and things like that, because Halloween's a week from today. So partly cloudy skies through the lunch hour with increasing clouds this afternoon, 52 for the afternoon high. So it's another day where we're still trending a little bit below average. I can't rule out a stray shower chance, and I want to show you what I'm talking about here. So some rain from the northwest could sink down into portions of the thumb or along M59 by about 3-4 o'clock this afternoon, and I'm talking a very isolated light shower or sprinkle that continues to hold on until about 6-7 o'clock this evening. Most of us dodge that, but I just have to at least mention it because our model data is picking up a little bit of moisture, so you could have that passing light shower if you have outdoor activities. Otherwise, tonight we're going to start to peel back those clouds once again, and temperatures will fall into the low 30s, so I do think that we see some patchy frost across town. But if you are heading out to the Rivalry game tomorrow, well, you can plan for about 50 degrees for tailgating out in East Lansing. But once we get to game time, with it being a night game, that 7:30 kickoff, it's going to be chilly. We'll be in the 40s throughout the game. In fact, probably mid to upper 40s at kickoff and low 40s by game's end. So figure out your favorite extra layers of whether it's maize and blue or green and white to wear to the game. We are officially a week away from Halloween, and we're getting new data in when it comes to that forecast. And so I want to bring it to you with our 7-day countdown here. So that 7-day temperature trend will remain in the mid-50s all the way into Halloween. So pretty consistent temperature-wise and right on par with kind of where we should be with that average temperature. So we know we're going to be in the 50s. Precipitation chances increase midweek next week, but then fall come Friday. And so as long as that verifies, we should have a relatively dry Halloween. There's just that isolated chance come Friday, and you can see how we illustrate that here. And so we start to see come Friday morning maybe a little bit of moisture on the west side of the state. Before we continue that timeline, I do have to point out a little bit of blue up into the New England region. That would indicate snow. We've had snow on Halloween before, but we're not forecasting that for us this year. Now here's the moisture that wraps in by the time we get in the later part of your Friday. That still stays mainly north of here. So I do think that we dodge that for trick-or-treating, but we'll keep a close eye on that as we get closer. What I think is the most notable part of the forecast for Halloween, howling winds. And so the wind model will be anywhere from about 20 to 30 mile per hour when it comes to the gusts. So by the time we get to 6 a.m., it looks like we're about 20 miles per hour with those wind gusts, but then we start to see some stronger winds building in throughout the afternoon and into the evening. And so if your kids have maybe, whether it's an umbrella or a hat, something like that, part of their attire for Halloween, their costume, well, you want to hold on to that tight because the winds will be whipping. We have 50s in that 7-day forecast for you. Rain late Tuesday, chance for showers holding on come Wednesday as we begin to dry things out for the later part of next week.
Ashley, thank you so much. You are about to see this month's Go For It award winner in action. The mission is to help women battling breast cancer. Demont Fernandez is tracking Hot Pink Helpers and how volunteers try to ease the financial burden of the disease. We were there for a very special delivery at Allen Park.
Receiving a breast cancer diagnosis is a moment in time no woman will ever forget.
When I first found out, it was earth-shattering.
1 in 8 women will develop breast cancer in their lifetime. Michelle Brooks of Allen Park is one of those women undergoing treatment for cancer she discovered last July.
I think the community and coworkers and the Pink Helpers, they've really helped me.
Thanks to Hot Pink Helpers, a nonprofit in Metro Detroit, Brooks is able to take time off work as an EMT for MedStar and get some help with her financial challenges.
My husband and I started Hot Pink Helpers in 2010 with a mission to provide financial and emotional help to people that are going through the toughest time in their lives.
On this day, Hot Pink Helpers gifted Brooks a $5,000 check to help pay her bills.
If I wouldn't have been able to receive the money, I probably wouldn't be getting my treatment, because I'd be forced to work.
Back in 2010, Clark's husband, the founder of Hot Pink Helpers, developed a new product that helps his customers fight Michigan's nasty winters.
We called it Hot Pink De-Icer, and the proceeds of which we gave to families going through a difficult time.
Within the next 10 years, the purpose and mission would grow into the full-fledged nonprofit.
Every single day, people are reaching out, they're applying online, they're expressing their needs, whether it's paying their property taxes, gas to get to their treatment, medical bills that were unexpected. The need is just so large, and speaking with these people and seeing what's going on, it just makes us want to raise more money and makes us want to help more people.
So far this year, the Pink Helpers have provided grants to 76 families. Since 2021, they've donated more than $1 million with no plans on slowing down.
Our goal is to continue to raise $1 million a year so we don't have to say no to anybody.
Stand by.
Great story, Damon. Thank you very much. If you know someone who wants to showcase and who embodies our Go Forward spirit, you can submit their story over on our website at clickondetroit.com. It's easy. All you have to do is scan that QR code there at the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. When we come back, we're going to wrap up the show here from Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Centennial Park along the Detroit riverfront. A beautiful shot showing you all that's here in the middle of the water garden. We're going to remind you of all the cool features that are here just for you when we come back. Here we go. Oh my gosh. I'm going to drop a phone. Something's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I love this.
Here we go. Here we go. All right. Ah!
Yes.
On the landing, not exactly.
Hold on. I think I unplugged my phone. I can't hear anything. The producers will take any opportunity they can to make fun of me. That's why Michelle loves them so much. Before we say goodbye on Local 4 Live here, let's check in one more time with, again, our brand new colleague. Amaya Kuznicki is the newest member, the newest addition to the Local 4 team. Amaya, you've been all over the brand new park. What area do you think people really kind of have to check out? Or is it all of it?
I mean, I think all of it is definitely relevant. Everyone wants to see every piece of this park. But honestly, that view over there by the DTE Foundation area was just incredible. It's something that you have to go out and see for yourself. Take some pictures. And then I also really enjoyed the slides, of course. And then I enjoyed the slides, of course, but it reminded me that I probably need to stretch a little bit more climbing up it.
Oh my gosh. That was one of the funny things, too. It was like, there's no staircase up there. I got to climb through a mesh thing and climb a rock wall to get down the slide. Maybe I'm out.
I know.
Don't laugh at me, Cherie.
Yeah, it was definitely, it was complicated. I was up there, I was like, I maybe should have checked this out before I did it on live TV. But, you know, then you guys get to really see the realness of the slide.
Exactly. The best thing happens when there's no practice, no rehearsal. You just have to see what happens. All right, Maya, thank you so much, and welcome to the team.
Exactly.
Well, thank you so much for joining us here on Local 4 Live. Kim DeGiulio and Tati Amari are going to be right here for the next broadcast from this park, coming up in exactly an hour and some minutes. I don't have any clocks around me, and Floor Director Michelle doesn't give me any time cues anymore. Stay with us. All coverage throughout the day here at the brand new park for everybody in Detroit. Make it a great Friday, everybody, and enjoy the game tomorrow.
Today on Live in the D, we're taking the show on the road.
That's right. Join us as we visit the brand new Ralph C. Wilson Park along Detroit's riverfront. Now, the park doesn't officially open until tomorrow, but we're giving you a sneak peek at all 22 acres.
From playgrounds and sports courts to scenic walking paths and a sensory-friendly play area, there's something for everyone to enjoy.
And wait till we tell you about the live music, food trucks, and other fun things to do.
It's all coming up today on Live in the D at 11 a.m.
Well, happy Friday, everyone. I'm forewarned meteorologist Ashley Barrissey. So remaining on the cooler side today with increasing clouds. Can't rule out an isolated shower up by Saginaw, but the rest of us will dodge that and will stay rain-free heading into the weekend. However, we'll be warming things up just so slightly. Mid-50s on tap for your Saturday, so we will be dry but cool for the big rivalry game in East Lansing. Seasonal upper 50s by Sunday, but we'll hold on to 50s all the way through Halloween next week. Rain returning midweek.
By the end of the week, the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library. This is why I was going to run the prompter.
Over there. Ready? 3, 2,